Today on Midweek's Best, we update you on the Lady Tigers' tourney journey.
And later on, Pat and I update you on LSU baseball, plus reporter Monica Resch introduces us to the LSU rugby team.
All that and much more as Midweek's Best starts right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Midweek's Best. I'm Derek Kopp.
And I'm Pat Gunther, filling in for Bat Brunner this week.
Now, before we get into today's pressing LSU topics, we would like to announce that the Northwestern football players have been approved to unionize by the Chicago District National Labor Relations Board. Former Northwestern quarterback and fellow Coloradoan Kane Coulter led the campaign that Northwestern said it will challenge once it eventually reaches Washington. Now, jumping right into it, the LSU women's basketball team continued their tournament success last night as they defeated the West Virginia Mountaineers in the PMAC to advance to the women's basketball NCAA Sweet 16 for the second year in a row, which will take place in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, the Tigers, they started the tournament off on a rough note, losing the team's third leading scorer, Miss Moncrief, but last night, John Kenny also went down early with an injury. Now, the Tigers, they recovered with a huge game from sophomore guard Danielle Ballard as she recorded a team-high 22 points and added an impressive 15 rebounds. And defensively, the Tigers had a strong outing from senior forward Shanice McKinney as she totaled a team-high 5 blocks. Now, Lady Tigers pulled it through in the PMAC, beating the West Virginia Mountaineers 76-67. Now, you can catch the Lady Tigers in their Sweet 16 match against the number 3 seeded Louisville Cardinals this Sunday at 1:30 on ESPN.
While the Lady Tigers were busy advancing to the NCAA tournament, the LSU baseball team traveled to the Crescent City for a matchup with the Tulane Green Wave. LSU started the game with pitcher Cody Glenn on the mound. The junior went only 4 innings after allowing 5 hits and 2 earned runs. However, the Tigers were unable to capitalize on the offensive side of the ball all day as the team was held to only 5 total hits, while the Tulane Green Wave got 7 hits on the Tigers. The Tulane pitching staff took over late in the game as the Tigers went scoreless after their 2-run 5th inning. The Green Wave won on this blooper to right field in the bottom of the 13th as Laird's throw, as you can see, came in just a little too late. Now, the season doesn't get any easier for the Tigers as they play a hot Florida Gators team in a series this weekend in Gainesville. Moving from 2 sports that are relatively docile to perhaps the most brutal and what some call savage sport in the world, rugby. Tiger TV reporter Monica Resch shows us that rugby isn't all about the contact.
In rugby, it is important to have teammates who will have your back both on and off the field.
We call ourselves the biggest fraternity in the world because no matter where you go, if you find someone who's played rugby, they'll take you in, they'll feed you.
The LSU rugby team is no doubt a part of this global brotherhood. Senior captain Alex Creed shares how despite the aggression seen on the field, the world of rugby is often a warm and welcoming place.
We'll play a game, even if we win, the other team will usually still host us and we'll kind of have like a little after party social gathering type thing.
The camaraderie between teams is rivaled only by the camaraderie of teammates. The LSU rugby team believes that the time they spend off the field as friends helps to contribute to their on-field success as teammates.
You know, we spend a lot of time together and kind of keeps us as a tight group and, you know, kind of brings us closer even though we're not necessarily doing rugby all the time.
This season, the LSU rugby team is undefeated in the Southeastern Collegiate Rugby Conference and have already secured a trip to the conference playoffs. These achievements prove that the brotherhood of LSU rugby is not only a skilled one, but also a close one.
When we're down, you know how someone reacts in an adverse, position, and you know that your brother's right there next to you to help you fight through it.
For Tiger TV Sports, I'm Monica Resch.
If you would like more information about games, the rules, or if you're interested in joining the rugby team, go to their website at www.lsurugby.com.
And coming up after the break, Pat will give us an inside look at LSU's newest ace, Jared Poche.
Don't go anywhere. Midweek's Best will be right back.
Nice play to send it down the slot for Moen. Backhander scores! What a play for Montreal to tie the game at 2.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. At this time, we would like to introduce the only member of our team that actually knows the Sopranos on a first-name basis. Now, Pat, is there any chance you can put a good word in for us?
Well, Derek, just for you, I think I'll say something nice to Uncle Tony. But moving on. The LSU Tigers baseball team is currently firing on all cylinders, as evident from their series tie of SEC rival Georgia this past weekend. In the friendly confines of Alex Box Stadium, the Tigers' struggling pitching staff looked more dominant than they have in any series this season. Following another stellar performance by staff ace Aaron Nola, freshman lefty Jared Poche solidified himself as a bona fide #1 starter for the future. Poche threw 102 pitches over 8 2/3 innings, including 6 hitless frames against the Bulldogs on Saturday evening. Poche's impressive display on the bump helped him earn SEC Freshman of the Week honors and praise from the Tigers' decorated coaching staff. Though the season's outcome is yet to be determined, one thing looks certain. If Poche continues to play at LSU, he'll certainly be sitting batters down donning the purple and gold for quite some time. Though Poche has struggled at times this season, the freshman phenom has made note of what he needs to do to continue his dominance on the mound.
I wanted to come out from, I know I struggled a little bit last in Vanderbilt, and just kind of wanted to get back to myself and just throw a lot of strikes. And my command of my fastball was huge tonight. That's the result of AD's philosophy. So.
Great segment, Pat. Now, with everyone involved with LSU baseball knowing that Poche and Nola are the aces of the program, what do the Tigers need from the rest of that bullpen to get the team through the remainder of this really tough season?
Well, Derek, I definitely think that they need to limit the earned runs they give up. A lot of the problems stem from the bullpen pitching. Additionally, they need to keep the pitch counts down so their pitchers can last longer. You don't want to have guys pitching on 2 days rests. Among other things, they need to select their pitches better to try and induce more balls in play to get outs, and the coaches definitely need to find a rotation that works for them. Now, along with pitching, LSU really needs to find the bats as well, especially after catching last night's debacle when we couldn't get the runners that were on base home. Derek, what do the Tigers need to address with their offense?
Well, I mean, at first, I think they need to stop jumping at so many pitches that are thrown out of the zone. Now, LSU tends to chase too many pitches out of the zone, so then they lead to strikeouts or getting ahead of the count. Now, they need to hit for contact, not necessarily for power. I know we've been saying that the past couple weeks on the show with the runners on the base. The Tigers need to stop trying to hit the long ball every single time they get players in scoring position and focus mainly on just getting the solid contact, getting the hit, and getting in that run. Finally, the middle of this lineup really needs to start to pick it up. With the calendar about to flip to April and the College Baseball World Series is right around the corner, the Tigers need the middle of their lineup to produce some runs in order to help out and get some of this pressure off the top of the order. Now, Pat, so far with everything that's happened, who do you think could emerge out of that bullpen to be that next guy? I mean, there's lots of names.
And definitely the one that comes to mind is Joe Broussard. You know, he's been the closer for, I believe, 2 seasons now. He's got some good velocity on his fastball, great control, and like you've seen earlier, he can really sit him down when we need to. So I think that if he continues to develop and works with the pitching coaches rather, he can really be an asset for the LSU bullpen.
No, I agree. Now, we talked about it earlier today, just the struggles that Cody Glenn seems to be having as a starter. The move to setup man could be a really great thing for him. Just help his arm out, get those good throws in the later part of the game, instead of the early, and then he always seems to fade. So hopefully they can get that under control. Pat, thanks for the inside look at Jared Poche. And coming up after the break, Pat and I show you guys the best plays in the last week of LSU sports.
Don't touch that dial. Midweek's Best will be right back.
Now, welcome back to the show, and now it is time for the Midweek's Best Plays of the Week.
And let's jump right into it with play number 5. At 5, Jake Fraley steals third base here. Look at him, great jump, kind of a bad pitch, and he is right in the bag, no problem there.
Sweet, right there. Play number 4. This is Sean McMillan in the outfield. This is left field, the dive, and the catch. Beautiful.
And at number 3, we got Joe Broussard's game-sealing pitch here. We talked about him earlier as the staff closer, and he shuts him down. Look at that. That was a great pitch, honestly.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, here we go. Play number 2. This is Mark Laird, the LSU speedster himself. Great jump to get second, and the missed throw. Can he get third? Keeps going. That's what I love about Mark Laird. Just keeps his legs going so fast. Look at that dive. Wonderful. Get the hands out there. Safe. Beautiful double steal.
And our show-stopping number 1 play. We've got Jared Poche, the man himself, coming right in and snagging that bunt. No problem. Head back to the dugout, young fella.
Now you gotta love I love the weekend series against UGA, but it's gonna be this weekend series against UF. I think it's gonna separate this team.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got Aaron Nola on Friday,
Yep.
and they got Poche on Saturday, both sub-1 ERAs.
Yep.
It's definitely gonna be a great series, I think.
Florida's gonna come out with some fire after beating FSU and getting in that brawl.
Oh, absolutely.
It's gonna be coming. It's gonna be coming.
Yeah, but unfortunately, folks, we are out of time for this week's show. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter for the latest news at ttv_midweeksbest. And don't forget to vote for the plays for next week using hashtag midweeksbest.
And come back for more of the best next week. But for now, I'm Derek Kopp, and for Bat Brunner and Pat Gunther, have a great night, Tigers. And I would like to send a special shout out to my grandma today who turned 93. Happy birthday, Grandma, and go Cubs.